Hello everybody and welcome back to some more Stoneopolis or Stone Block 3.5. Still haven't decided yet. You all remember in the last video, the first video incidentally, where we managed to get to the void, where there we managed to find ourselves some of this concrete dust. Well, we found concrete and then we broke it down into concrete dust. And then when we broke that, it gave us this concrete dust. Yeah, this was the concrete dust pile. Ugh, so many different names. Well, in between episodes, I've expanded a bit more among places, and I smelted down the concrete dust to get us glass. With this glass, we're going to be able to get a few things, but first, we're also going to want to use 2 more of the dust to be able to get this purifying salt. With this, purifying salt mulch. With this, we can go ahead and do the same thing that we did for the eroding water, but this time for this, where, if I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure I needed to right-click that with this, and not the hoe. I messed up. Okay, let's go ahead and try this again. Right-click it with there, and there we go. Now we have ourselves purified water. With this, we can go ahead and actually purify things, such as the concrete dust, which we can go ahead and break down the rest of these because I really don't need any more of it. And then, we will then get ourselves the bright shard. I don't entirely know what this is for, but we have it. So now that we got that out of the way, what we're gonna want to do with this glass is we want to go ahead and make ourselves some bottles. We only need 4, but these only come in pairs of 3, so we have 2 extra. Now what we can do is we can head over here into the void and witness the destruction that I had made in the last video, and then we should just need to right-click the air. And there we go. Now we have ourselves the bottled void. Now what we can go ahead and do is we just need to go ahead and then combine these 4 together with a sapling, and then we get ourselves the black colored sapling. Now, we just need to go ahead and grow our black colored sapling, and then we get ourselves a black colored tree. After that, I don't have any crooks. I need a crook. Do I have enough? Yes, I do. Okay, so now we can just go ahead, break all of this down, and then we should get ourselves a sapling. Oh, yep, there we go. We got a black colored sapling and void apple. Either way though, now that we've gotten all this, we are going to need to get ourselves the leaves. So we are going to want to go ahead and grow this baby one more time. That way we can then go ahead. I actually want to turn this back to shape so I can get everything. And there we go. Now we have ourselves the black colored leaves. That will be important in a moment. Firstly though, what we're going to want to do is go ahead and make ourselves a chest, and then surround that in our black colored logs. And with that, we get ourselves this baby called a resource generator. What this baby will do is it will take the void chunks that we made in the last video. And it appears I don't have any more. Alrighty, I got myself a void chunk. So what we can now do is we can go ahead and put this thing into here. And what this is gonna do is gonna be very, very special. I'm not sure how useful it's going to be in the long run though, but at least for the time for when we need these, this will now continue to generate more void chunks from just this one, which means no longer do I need to keep making deep slate to just go in over and over again. We'll just have this. Oh. You mean there was a quest reward for the ingot? The thing that I needed for other 2 things. Okay, well, we can go ahead and grab that. I'll settle with the rest of that later. Let's get back to the main focus of right now, though. So now what we want to do is we want to go ahead and take our black colored leaves, which we got earlier, and then we can make ourselves black string. I think I only need 1 for it. Yeah, that's fine. And then we can also continue to go with that, and then we get ourselves void dirt. Oh yeah, here we go. Now we need to purify this. Hopefully this is a guarantee, or at least high enough to where it actually gets me it. There it is. We then get ourselves our dirt. Is it actually a guarantee, or is it like a thing? Okay, it's a 100% chance. Okay, that's good. And it also gives us 2 more dirt, which is even more convenient. So now, with this dirt, we can go ahead and continue on with the trees line, but that will be saved for in a little bit. So nextly, what we're gonna want to do is we're gonna want to go ahead and make ourselves 1 more of these strings, and then we can go ahead and combine these together, and then we'll get ourselves this baby called the drying table. I'm gonna need to start expanding a bit more, but that's fine. We can go ahead and slap this baby right here. And now this is supposed to dry things. I just don't entirely understand how I'm supposed to dry things. Oh. Wow, that is a weird recipe. Okay, but if I go ahead and do this, that gets us a pressure plate. So then if I throw that into here, no, I forgot. I needed 4 pressure plates. I cannot believe I just looked at it and then I immediately forgot it. Okay, but now we got ourselves the log sheet. Then we can go ahead and throw that into here. Of course, maybe I am still mistaken. A soaking table. Wait, I thought that was weird. Because you're taking the log sheet and then putting it in the drying table and then making it soaked, and then you're putting it in the drying table and making it... Okay, wait. So a soaked table is not a drying table, but it's still under the drying table. That makes absolutely no sense. Oh, wait a minute. I just read it. Okay, hang on a minute. Give me a second. I know what I need to do. So what I need to do is I needed to go ahead and put this inside of water. And then if I throw these into here, now it's a soaking table because it's been waterlogged. That's what I needed to do. Oh my freaking goodness. Okay, so now the log sheet turns into soaked paper, which we can now dry right here and actually like hangs from it, which I think is really cool. And then once this thing is finished up, we really don't need to concern ourselves with the second one, but we can go ahead and throw it in anyways. We then get ourselves paper. I'm not entirely sure how much use paper really has in this pack. Actually, it has... Oh. Actually has quite a bit of a use. Huh. Well, the most important thing, though, is we wanted to get it for its quest reward, which is this eccentric tome, which is basically like an agnostic tome, where with this, we can go ahead and then get ourselves all these different guidebooks. Most important of note, the quest book. Which means now I no longer have to keep going into my inventory and clicking up here. I can just open it up from my hand and left click it again to get any new things. Even this catalog book, which is just this catalog right here, but in a book form, so I could carry it anywhere. Honestly, the funniest thing is you could buy one of these catalog books in here, but that would have been such a waste. Glad I didn't do that. Looks like in here we also have some unfamiliar items as well, which are probably just some books for some mods that we'll get into later. But for right now, we do have this, so... And then I can actually also go ahead and throw some dirt into the drying thing, it looks like, as well, which would then get... Where did I put the dirt? Did I put it away? Okay, I did put it away. But we can go ahead and throw this baby into here, and then that should get us some coarse dirt. And then by putting that coarse dirt into both of these, we'll then get ourselves from the drying table, sandy soil, and from the soaking table, we'll get mud. And then that will unlock this whole quest line right here, which is going to get us started on some very, very fun stuff. So yeah, it looks like by throwing it in water or into the purifying water, we can actually go ahead and make ourselves sand. But the purifying water looks to be the 100% chance. So let's go ahead and throw this into here. And that's for the mud into concrete. Not concrete, into clay. It looks like that is just going to be it with concrete powder. So that should be good. Yeah, I do still have it. So then, there we go. Now we got ourselves the mud. Or not the mud, the clay. I keep mixing things around. Holy crap. Okay, but now that we've gotten those... Oh, this is going to be fun, isn't it? Because now that we have the sand, we need to get 4 to make sandstone, which is going to be essential into getting us started with this kiln brick. Oh, this is gonna take a lot of these things. So yeah, I need sandstone and I need clay so that way I can then make bricks. So that way I can then go ahead and make a kiln. And I'm pretty sure I need, I think, 8 of these. Oh boy, that's gonna take a lot of stuff. So let me go ahead and gather up all that. Okay, I managed to get all of the sandstone. It took me forever. But with that, that should be enough of the kiln bricks. Then we just need to take this last pair of bricks with some sticks to get ourselves our wonderful hammer. So we can go ahead and slap this baby over here. I will very much be expanding this whole area out even more. I don't care if these things are up against walls anymore. I need the space. But now we can go ahead and just smack this baby. And there we go. We now have ourselves the alloy kiln. And fortunately for me, I'm pretty sure I should have some spare charcoal right here. I don't know if mini charcoal will work, so if I can turn this back, like that would be great. Does not look like I could turn it back, dang it. Oh wait, no I can. I just need the 8 recipe. There we go. So then after that, now what we need to do is we need to take some of our void chunks, which I did mess with while I was away. I decided to put a resource generator on top of a hopper instead. And then I went into a framed drawer, which we were able to make. It really wasn't that hard. We just needed some more of these void nuggets. So yeah, that was simple. So we can go ahead and take this and mix it with some stone right into here. And this is gonna get us something very, very special. Once this thing goes all the way through, I really miss having time manipulation. That would be very nice right now. I don't even know if there's anything like that in this mod pack, but now we have ourselves void stone, and there's actually still more room for that thing to go. So what we can go ahead and do is we can just go ahead and stack that up so that way we can then go ahead and get as much of this as we possibly can, just that way, just in case we can get more of these. But there we go. Now we have ourselves void stone. So now what we need to do with this void stone, this is very special. We need to go ahead and make ourselves a furnace and then put cobblestone there and then a void stone right down here. Maybe I need one more cobblestone. Ah, there it is. Okay, I had the right thing, just the wrong stone. But with this, we then get ourselves the blood altar. Oh my goodness, it's beautiful. So with this blood altar, we will be able to do very, very nasty, very evil things. So yeah, let's just go ahead and start digging out here. Small tunnel, that should be good. There we go. So I went ahead and just slapped the blood altar right here. I'm gonna go ahead and want to put a torch. There we go. Light. It's such a beautiful thing. So then now that we have ourselves the blood altar, this should unlock all sorts of different things. And we actually also get ourselves 2 guidebooks from this. So that begs the question. If I switch this back to the eccentric tone, am I allowed to integrate books into this? I am. So now that we've gotten all of this, we have ourselves 5 void stone by the end of all of this. That's good. We can go ahead and throw the rest of this stuff away in there for right now. And then with 2 more of these, we can then go ahead and make ourselves our sacrificial knife, which, as many of you may know, we need to use this to damage myself. Ah, self-harm. I gotta love it. And then inside of it, we then get ourselves life essence. And it's not draining at all. That's weird. I would have thought that it would have started. Maybe it already finished. Because, like, what this stuff does is there's, like, a backlog for blood to be piped in and out of this. And so it'll drain about 1,000-ish millibuckets. And then it'll stop. So now what we can go ahead and do, we can go ahead and put this void ingot right into here. And then this will absorb 1,000 millibuckets, or 1 bucket of this blood. And then it'll turn into our weak blood orb, which we can now bind to ourselves. So that way this is now part of our blood network. I don't really know what purpose this serves us right now. Actually, it looks like it might serve Very interesting purpose. Oh, right, I need it for the runes. Okay, yeah, well, we can go ahead and throw our void chunk right into here, which will absorb 100 millibuckets, and then that will get us a blank slate. So, most of the stuff that we're going to need this thing for are going to require it to be at tier 2, which means we're going to need to get ourselves 8 of this blank rune, which is going to take 7 stone, 1 blank slate, and our blood orb, which we fortunately have a whole lot of stone. That is not stone. Okay, we had an imposter among us, but we found it. So we can go ahead and do this recipe, and the best part is the blood orb should not be consumed. It is not. So now I just need to do all that over again about 7 more times.
5 minutes later.
Alrighty, got everything I need. So now what we need to do is we just need to dig out this little area right here, and then we can just go ahead and then put down our runes into all of these places, and with that, that should be our tier 2 altar ready and raring to go. There is only one way to test that though, and that is going to be to try to use it for a purpose. This purpose will be very, very great, in fact. So let's go ahead, take one of our void chunks, and we're going to need to smelt this down to get ourselves a nugget. Because with this nugget, this can be put into the altar, but its result will only be usable if this thing is truly a tier 2. So, we go ahead, throw that into there, and yes, there we go. With that, it is definitely a tier 2 altar, and we have ourselves void copper. So then what we're gonna want to do now is we're going to want to go ahead and then make this thing right here called the routing stick. We're gonna want 2 of those and hope that it didn't want to give me another from the quest reward. Okay, now we're gonna need to hope that there's other uses. There it is. Okay, good. Okay, so it's not just isolated to this. That is beautiful. Okay, so then we're gonna want to go ahead and take our glass currently void nugget or ingot, and then we can go ahead and then create ourselves this thing called the node router. This is where this is gonna get interesting, because with this baby, apparently, I didn't know this, I don't know if it's just unique to this mod pack or not, but blood magic has nodes that emits lasers for sorting. Oh yeah, we're gonna be doing something very special. So, from here on out, this is gonna be a bunch of similar stuff. We're gonna need this thing called the router nodes. We have an import one, which uses blank slates and hoppers and more of these sticks. You have an output one, which uses more hoppers, more blank slates, and more sticks. And then you have this node, which is basically just a bunch of sticks. And then you'll have this master node, which takes some of the mixed ingot that we made in the last video, and also all this stuff again. So we're gonna need several of those things, which is just gonna be more grindy stuff. So I'm gonna gather up some of those, expand the area a little bit to prepare for something very special, and then you're all gonna see some magic.
Much later.
Alrighty, I set up the area with a little stuff special here. So what we have right here is we have all of our drawers right here. And then we have ourselves 2 output routings right here, and then 2 input routings right here with a furnace and another resource generator, making the chunks and then smelting those down into the void nuggets. So now all we need to do is we just need to go ahead and is to blood infuse these hoppers to get ourselves these item filters right here. So now what we're going to want to do is we actually are going to want to have these things separated, because I don't know if those would overlap or anything like that. We then want to go ahead and take this one right here, attach this piece to it, and then that should be to allow. Yes. It'll allow this one to go through this right here, and then that should be fine, and we'll want to send it to... Oh, this is interesting. There's a lot of other stuff going on here. Yeah, well, okay, if I understand this correctly, it's going to be pulling from these sources. So we have it pulling from down. That should be fine. We don't want to pull from the other spots. Okay. And then on this one right here, we go ahead and have this select 1. That way it should only send 1 over. And then we should just need to connect these together. And then that should send it in. Now, how do I, like, connect all of these? I am so confused. Is this not... Yeah, this is it. Put that on deny. So that way it'll not stop anything. There we go! Okay. So now all that's in there. Okay, but we are now faced with a problem, which is... this is not stopping after a certain point. Okay, I figured out what I was doing wrong. It wasn't actually the numbers in these nodes. What it was is I had to click on the filter, and then over here you have this little number sign. That's what I needed to set to 1. So now those two should work together to where it should only input 1 at a time. And yeah, there we go. Now that will output it. Okay, so if we go ahead and take this thing out, we actually can go ahead and set another filter now once we actually go ahead and make it, because I forgot I actually still needed to make the rest of these. So go ahead, set these ones together. There we go. And then this one can go ahead and then be for these copper nuggets right here. If it stays, okay, it did. Then we can go ahead and set this filter as well, or not. You know what? This should work on its own. Since this one is set to the copper, this will only allow the copper through. That should be good. So now if I put copper in, it should output it once I actually connect these. So now once we go ahead and put that thing in, it'll then automatically convert this into the nuggets, which then goes out into there. There we go. That's good. So now you might be wondering, what about these other two? What are they for? Well, they're actually for these mixed stone nuggets, which we made in the last video. I actually discovered that I did not make the ingot because I got an achievement for it, and I earlier said that I did get it, and I was a liar. I am sorry. We just make it like any other ingot, though. So what we could then do for this is just the exact same thing we did here for the copper, and then that'll get us something else. So let me go ahead and get that ready, and then we'll be right back.
Eventually.
Alrighty, got all of it sorted out. So now it is going to be a bit weird with this because this one's going to be on input, and this stuff is going to be almost constantly making some more stuff as long as I have coal in there or something to smelt this with. So it's definitely going to be a bit wonky, but with this, now we have ourselves copper and tin. Well, void copper and void tin. If we were to want to actually, let's go ahead and check that part off. But if we were going to want to actually turn these things into their main forms, we're going to need to, A, make the void versions of their ingots, and then we're going to need to, like, put those in a purifying to get the dust. Then we would have to smelt that down. It's going to be just a bit of a process that really will be fitting for another time. But really, for right now, all this looks good. So then the last thing that I want to do today, I'm going to take a void ingot right here, and then we can surround that in stone, and then that will get us this stone charm. What does this baby do? Well, if we go over here and punch this block, we get ourselves pebbles. That's how it always is in stone blocks. But with this charm, we can go at... We don't want to drop it. That was stupid of me. We want to go ahead and put it in our charm slot. And then with that, we need to go ahead and build ourselves a little 3x3. We break this, and it'll turn it into cobblestone. Turning back on normal mining mode. So when I need pebbles, I can go ahead and take this thing off and use those for their purposes. But when I need cobblestone, we can just do this. So do you like this video? Good. Then be sure to check out our last Stoneopolis video where we started this brand new mod pack. Bye!